The cold air in the room is thick with tension, suffocating and oppressive. Miriam sits motionless, her hands still resting on the journal, her fingers numb from the chill that has settled in her bones. The room feels too small, too confined, as if the walls themselves are closing in on her. Every sound seems muffled, distant, except for the relentless echo of her own heartbeat, pounding in her chest. She forces herself to breathe, each inhale a struggle, as if the air itself has turned hostile. The reflection is still in her mind, its chilling whispers reverberating through her thoughts, feeding the growing panic that claws at her from the inside. It knows her. It knows her deepest fears, her darkest secrets. She can't escape it. Not now. Not after everything that's happened. But there's one thing she can do. The journal. Miriam lifts it again, her hands trembling as she opens it to the final page. She traces the last, frantic words, still feeling the haunting presence of the reflection lingering in the room, its presence like a shadow just beyond her reach. I'm not sure how much longer I can keep it away. It's inside me now. I can feel it. The reflection. It's no longer just in the mirror. It's in me, and I fear it's growing stronger. It won't stop until it has me completely. The words blur before her eyes, a twisted confession that feels like a warning. Claire had tried to escape, but had she? Or had she just become another victim of the thing in the mirrors? The reflection, the entity, whatever it was it possible that Claire had succumbed to it? Had it taken over her mind, her body? Miriam shakes her head, trying to clear the fog in her thoughts. No, she can't think like that. Claire had been strong. She had fought. But Miriam hadn't been there. She hadn't known. And now Claire was gone. The sound of a door creaking open slices through the thick silence in the room, and Miriam's heart stops. She doesn't need to turn around to know that something is there, standing in the doorway, something watching her. Slowly, she turns. Her breath catches as she faces the shadow in the doorway. There's nothing there, but she can feel it, that presence, that weight pressing in from all sides. It's waiting, watching. The reflection is not gone. It's never gone. She scrambles to her feet, her pulse racing, her mind reeling. She doesn't know what's happening, what's real anymore. The reflection is a part of her now, too. It's in the air, in the shadows, in her thoughts. It's always been there, lurking, watching, waiting. Suddenly, a loud crash breaks the silence, followed by the unmistakable sound of glass shattering. Miriam freezes, the sound echoing in her mind, reverberating through the room like a cruel reminder of what she's trying to outrun. The mirror. Her eyes dart to the corner of the room, where the shattered pieces of the mirror lay scattered across the floor. She hadn't seen it before, but now it's clear. The reflection is still there, in the shards, in the broken glass. It's watching her. The room seems to grow colder still, the temperature plummeting as if the very air is being sucked out of the space. Miriam's breath comes in shallow gasps, her vision blurry as panic sets in. The reflection is here, and it's in her mind. It's inside her head. Miriam. The voice whispers, a soft, mocking tone. You can't run from me. Her hands tremble as she takes a step back, the edges of the broken mirror catching the light, reflecting twisted, fractured images of her face. Each shard of glass distorts her reflection, turning her own features into something grotesque, something alien. She sees herself, but it's not her. Something else. Something dark. Something wrong. The whispering grows louder, rising to a crescendo. It's no longer just one voice. It's a chorus now, a discordant symphony of overlapping whispers, calling her name, taunting her, driving her to the edge of sanity. Miriam stumbles backwards, her mind racing. She needs to get out. She needs to leave. But where? The reflection is everywhere now. It's not just in the mirrors anymore. It's inside her mind, inside her soul. It's inescapable. Her eyes dart around the room, searching for an exit, for any escape from the suffocating grip of the reflection. But there's nothing, just the shattered glass, the broken pieces of the mirror that now seem to pulse with a dark energy of their own. Then, a voice, Claire's voice pierces through the cacophony of whispers. Miriam's breath catches in her throat as she hears the words clearly, as if Claire is standing right beside her. You have to stop it, Miriam. You have to destroy the mirror. Miriam's head spins. The words don't make sense. Destroy the mirror? How? Why? It's the only way. You have to end it before it ends you. The voice is fading, slipping away, like it's being pulled into the distance. Miriam's mind races, but the answer is elusive. What does it mean? What mirror? Suddenly, a flash of memory cuts through the haze, and she remembers Claire's last words. The reflection, the mirrors, the shattered glass, the truth she's been running from. The reflection had never just been a part of Claire. It had been feeding off her, controlling her, twisting her thoughts, her reality. And now Miriam understands. She has to stop it, before it's too late. With newfound determination, Miriam grabs a shard of glass from the floor, holding it tight in her hand. The reflection's voice mocks her, taunts her, but she won't listen. She can't. She steps forward, standing in front of the broken mirror, her chest tight with fear, her heart pounding in her ears. The reflection looms in the glass, its black eyes staring back at her. It's almost smiling. Almost. You can't stop it, Miriam, the reflection says, its voice cold and menacing. You're already mine. But Miriam doesn't hesitate. She raises the shard of glass, her hand trembling, but resolute. She slams it into the mirror with all the strength she has left. The glass shatters with a deafening crack, and for a moment, everything goes still. The whispers stop. The presence vanishes. Miriam stands, breathless, heart racing, staring at the shards of glass scattered on the floor. The reflection is gone. For now. But she knows it's not over. Not by a long shot. The room is silent. Too silent. And then, a single, final whisper echoes in the air. It's not over, Miriam. The reflection's grip tightens. Can Miriam truly escape it? Or is she doomed to fall under its control? Just like Claire? What happens when the mirror shatters? And where does the darkness go when it's no longer in the glass? The silence in the room is deafening, a suffocating weight pressing down on Miriam's chest. She stands still, eyes fixed on the shattered pieces of the mirror that now lie scattered across the floor. The whisper, faint yet chilling, still lingers in the air, like an unfinished sentence, a warning that something is far from over. Miriam's hand grips the shard of glass tighter, the sharp edges digging into her palm as the sting of pain helps anchor her in the present. She's shaking, but not from fear anymore. There's something else in her. A new resolve. She's confronted the reflection, faced it head-on. But she knows the worst is yet to come. It's not over, Miriam. The words still echo in her mind, almost mocking, as if the reflection is daring her to think that breaking the mirror would solve anything. And deep down, she knows it's right. Breaking the glass hadn't destroyed the reflection. It hadn't set her free. All it had done was leave her standing in a room full of broken pieces, staring at the distorted fragments of her own image. For a long moment, Miriam stands there, her breath slow and shallow, as the air seems to grow heavier, thicker. The shadows in the corners of the room seem to deepen, as though something is moving, something just out of her reach. She clenches her jaw and takes a slow step backward, her eyes never leaving the shards. Her mind races. Claire's warning rings in her ears again. You have to destroy the mirror. It's the only way. But she doesn't know how. The reflection is inside her now. It's not just in the glass. It's in her mind, in her soul, like a disease that's spread too far to contain. She can feel it, lurking beneath her skin. A creeping cold that spreads from her heart to her fingertips. And then, a thought cuts through the chaos. A cold, clear thought that feels like a final truth. The reflection isn't something that can be destroyed. It's something that can only be faced. Suddenly, she feels it. The pull. A tug at the core of her being. A sensation so familiar it almost feels like déjà vu. She looks back toward the broken mirror. One of the larger shards catches the dim light, casting a faint reflection of her face. But it's not her face. Not anymore. It's Claire's. Miriam stumbles backward, the glass shards slipping from her fingers, clattering on the floor. She wants to run, to escape, but her feet won't move. She's rooted to the spot, caught in the web of this nightmare. Her heart is pounding in her chest as the reflection in the broken glass shifts, distorting Claire's image. And then she hears it. A voice. Not Claire's. It's the reflection's voice. She's gone, Miriam. You're next. Miriam closes her eyes, trying to push the voice out of her head, but it won't leave. It's inside her now, whispering in the depths of her mind. She can feel it, clawing its way out from the dark corners of her consciousness. Her breath catches in her throat. She can't fight it anymore. But as her mind spirals, a sudden clarity strikes her. She's been fighting the wrong battle all along. The reflection isn't trying to control her. It's trying to consume her. She doesn't need to break the glass, destroy the mirror, or defeat the reflection. She needs to reject it. Miriam takes a deep, steadying breath, her hand trembling at her side. She has to face it once and for all. She has to look at the reflection in the glass, not with fear, but with acceptance. Because that's the key. The reflection isn't something external. It's a part of her. A part she's been running from, hiding from, but not anymore. Slowly, she turns toward the largest shard of glass, the one that still holds Claire's distorted image. She doesn't flinch this time, doesn't avert her gaze. She steps forward, bringing her face closer to the fractured reflection. The glass cuts into her skin, but she doesn't care. The voice speaks again, this time louder, more desperate. You can't escape it, Miriam. You're mine. You've always been mine. But Miriam stands her ground. She meets the eyes of the reflection, looking it straight in the face. And then she says, her voice low but steady, "No, you're not me. You never were." For a long moment, nothing happens. The air stills as if waiting. Miriam feels a shift in the atmosphere, a subtle change, like the tension in the room has suddenly snapped. The whispers stop. The reflection stops moving. And for the first time in what feels like forever, Miriam feels free. The shadows seem to recede. The weight in the air lifts, and the room feels just a little less suffocating. The broken glass on the floor doesn't seem so ominous anymore. The reflection isn't there. Not anymore. But just as Miriam takes a breath of relief, a chill runs down her spine. A voice. Soft. Cold. Barely a whisper. "You think it's over?" Miriam's blood runs cold. The reflection is gone. But something else is there. Something darker, deeper. Something that's been waiting. Before she can react, she hears a sound behind her, soft at first, but growing louder. Footsteps. Not in the distance, but close. Too close. Miriam spins around, her heart hammering in her chest. And that's when she sees it. The reflection. But not in the glass. Not in the mirror. In the doorway. Claire. But not Claire. Her face is twisted, pale, and sickly. Her eyes black holes of nothingness. Her expression is one of torment, of agony. Her mouth opens, but no sound comes out. It's as though she's frozen in time, trapped between two worlds. And then, just like that, Claire's image shatters, fractured into a million pieces, vanishing into the air like dust. And in the silence that follows, Miriam realizes the truth. The reflection has taken her. Not just Claire. Her too. The real question now isn't whether the reflection is gone. The real question is what it has left behind. The story isn't over, and Miriam's fate hangs in the balance. Will she break free from the reflection's grip, or has she become its latest victim? The room falls silent again, but it's not the same silence as before. It's a heavy silence, filled with an eerie sense of inevitability. Miriam's breath is shallow as she stands frozen, her eyes wide with terror. Her mind races, trying to process what just happened, but her thoughts refuse to form anything coherent. Claire's face, twisted, distorted, and shattered, vanished into the air. Was it real? Was it just another fragment of the nightmare that has consumed her? For a moment, Everything seems to pause. Miriam can hear her heartbeat in her ears, the steady thrum of panic coursing through her veins. Her hands shake as she wipes the cold sweat from her brow. The door is still open, the hallway behind it dark, ominous. But she can't bring herself to look away. Something in the air, something tangible and dangerous, keeps her rooted to the spot. And then, as if in answer to her unspoken dread, a voice pierces through the stillness. A whisper, soft, familiar. It lingers in her mind like a memory she's trying to suppress. "You can't escape me, Miriam." Her blood runs cold. The voice is unmistakable. It's the reflection, the entity that's haunted her. The one that's been there in every shattered glass, every twisted memory, every corner of her mind. Still here. Miriam turns slowly, her head jerking toward the reflection that was once Claire. She expects to see something, anything. Yet the room before her is still, empty. Not a trace of the thing that just stood in the doorway remains. Only silence. But then, as if mocking her, the mirrors around the room begin to warp. The edges of the broken glass flicker, twisting, as though something is trying to push through, to return. The shadows in the corners seem to shift, and Miriam can almost feel the cold breath of the reflection on the back of her neck. It's waiting. And that's when the truth hits her hard, like a punch to the gut. This isn't just about the reflection. It never was. It wasn't just a mirror, a glass, or even the supernatural force she tried so desperately to break. It was the archive. It was Lucas. It was Claire. It was her. Miriam's knees tremble, and she sinks to the floor, her mind reeling. She finally understands the connection. The reflection wasn't trying to control her. It was manipulating her, twisting her own memories, her fears, her guilt into something unrecognizable. All along, she had been a part of this, a thread in the tapestry of something much darker. It was the archive that had been pulling the strings, using the reflection as a conduit to seep into her life. The memories, the echoes, the fragmentations of truth. Her chest tightens as a realization sinks in. She had been fighting a battle against her own mind, against her own reflection. But the real battle was never about breaking free. It was about remembering who she truly was, and in doing so, unlocking the door to her escape. The door. Her eyes dart to the doorway, the shadows beyond it now alive with an energy she can't explain. The air smells damp, thick with the tension of something ancient. The reflection is still there, somehow in the room with her. It hasn't left. But it's not just a reflection anymore. It's a part of the archive, and it's pulling her in, wrapping her in a web she can't untangle. Miriam looks back at the shards of glass on the floor, the shattered remnants of her past. And as she gazes into the splintered reflections, she sees something that chills her to her core. In the reflection that shouldn't be there, she sees herself. But not the Miriam she knows. This Miriam has her back to the shattered glass, her head slightly tilted, her expression unreadable. And behind her, looming in the distance, there's something moving, something long and dark, like a shadow, but not quite. Miriam doesn't have time to process the image fully before the reflection shifts again. It twists and warps, showing her the faces of those she's lost. Lucas, Claire, and others who had been caught in the web of this nightmare. They appear distorted, their eyes wide with terror, their mouths frozen in screams. The last image, though, is the most disturbing. It's Miriam, standing at the center of a darkened room. But there's something wrong. Her reflection in the glass doesn't move in sync with her. It's a moment of dread, of horror, as Miriam realizes the truth she had been running from all along. She was never in control. The archive had already claimed her. Her reflection wasn't just a mirror to her past. It was a window to her future. Her body stiffens as she stands up, the weight of the truth pressing down on her chest. She is the archive now, not in the way she had once feared, not as an unwilling vessel. She is the vessel, but she is also something else entirely. Something more. The glass fractures once again as the reflection of her distorts, breaking apart, splintering into an array of glistening shards. And as the last piece falls to the floor, something else happens. The lights flicker, the room darkens, and Miriam feels it, the presence. It's standing behind her, watching, waiting. Miriam turns slowly, and as she does, she sees it, the watcher, tall, cloaked in shadows, its face hidden beneath the brim of its wide black hat. Miriam doesn't scream. There's no need to. She knows now. It's not an enemy. It's a part of her, a reflection, another mirror, another piece of this twisted web that has been woven around her. And as she stares into the darkness, into the abyss of her own reflection, Miriam finally understands that the truth, the real truth, has been with her all along. She is the reflection, and it has always been her. Stay tuned for the final chapter in this chilling saga. The Watcher is closer than ever, and the truth about the archive is about to come to light.